Hey, in this video, we're going to walk you through demystifying the 2-to-1 buy down. What is a 2-to-1 buy down? Well, if you want to stick around until the end of this video, we're going to show you the ins, we're going to show you the outs, and at the very final, we're going to give you some contact information so you can take your higher interest rate to a much lower interest rate way easier than you think. So stick around and we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time in the channel and you want to know everything about living in Bend, Oregon, then subscribe below, tap the bell for notifications, and we'll let you be the first to know about the current market in Bend, Oregon. My name is Joshua Grossman. I'm the leader of the Grossman Home Team with eXp Realty. We get calls and emails every day from people like you and you and you and you and you looking for help on making their move to Bend, Oregon, and we absolutely love it. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, and send us an email, or sign up for a free Zoom consult. All of our information is in the description below. We want to help you make a smooth move to Bend, Oregon. So as I mentioned, let's talk about a 2-to-1 buy down and how it can help you. Garrett, thanks for coming to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us what you got.
Hi guys, my name is Garrett Myers. I'm with Elevate Mortgage. We are a mortgage brokerage here in Bend, Oregon. My NMLS number is 2041420. I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the current market, kind of what's going on when you buy a house in today's market locally here in Bend, and what you can do with seller credits to get the lowest payment possible. So just share my screen real quick here. All right, so 2-to-1 interest rate buy downs. What are they? A 2-to-1 buy down is a 30-year fixed rate conventional loan. This is not an ARM. It is a regular purchase loan with roughly the same interest rates as if you were to just buy a house straight up. The seller is going to provide a credit for your temporary interest rate buy down. Your rate is 2% lower in the first year, 1% lower in the second year, and then years 3 through 30 are locked for the regular loan for 30 years.
So just to clarify, an ARM, guys, is an adjustable rate mortgage. So he's not talking about something that's going to escalate over time. You get the discount in the first year and the second year, and then it goes into your normal rate, but then you have the opportunity to refinance if you want to, correct?
Correct.
Perfect.
So I should go into the math a little bit more. This is what a current quote for one of these 2-to-1 buy downs looks like right now with us as a mortgage broker. So here in this right column here, this is a $500,000 purchase with 10% down. You can put as little as 5 or even 3% down as a first-time home buyer as a conventional loan. But for number purposes, this is a 10% down loan at $450,000 on a $500,000 purchase. The rate you'd be locking in for 30 years right now is 5.99. We're in the high fives right now, coming down from 7s a couple months ago, which is awesome. So this payment here, including taxes, insurance, and mortgage insurance, is right about $3,100, just shy of that. In the year one here, you can see the interest rate is 3.99, 2% lower, and that payment drops to 25.27. Year two, 4.99, about 2,800 there. So the savings are significant monthly for roughly the same cash to close. This scenario is ran at a $500,000 purchase with a $12,000 seller credit from the seller to pay for this 2-to-1 interest rate buy down.
And I'll tell you right now, guys, $12,000 is almost too easy to get. Like asking for a $12,000 credit on a sales price of $500,000 should be done all day long, every day. The last sale that I did was $399, and we got $40,000 off with a blink of an eye. Like they begged us to say, yeah, we'll do it, and we're going to give you another $4,000 to fix the roof on top of it. So these credits are definitely available right now.
Yeah, this type of loan is really best for a client who can already pay their own closing costs. I had 4 closings last month, and 3 out of 4 clients opted for this 2-to-1 interest rate strategy. So it's about 75% of the market. The only reason why that 1 out of 4 people did not choose to go this route, they needed the $12,000, $10,000 to $12,000 seller credit to pay for their closing costs for their title and escrow fees at closing. So they weren't able to do this type of loan because they actually did get the credit. They just weren't able to allocate it towards making their payments lower. They used it to get their cash to close lower at final signing.
And just so everyone understands, because there's only so much credit you can ask for, most loans and everything have a limit of what you can ask for. So if you're asking for $12,000, there's not going to be a whole lot left over for closing costs. So your down payment's going to be up to you, and your closing costs, your fees and escrow fees and all that kind of stuff is something you're going to pay. But the overall savings of this is definitely worth it.
Yeah. So this is a conventional loan. On conventional loans, when you put 10% down, the maximum seller concession is 6% of the purchase price. So there'd be plenty of credit to get with 6% credit. If you put less than 10% down, the maximum credit on a conventional loan is only 3% of the purchase price. So for any first-time home buyers out there, this is still a great strategy for you. If you're putting 3 to 5% down on 500, you'd be able to get up to $15,000 in seller credit, which still in the current market, at least until probably January or February right now, is still very doable to get that much credit. So moving on, where does that money come from? How do we come up with how much you need for that credit? Here is the 2-to-1 Buydown Calculator. This is exactly what your lender is going to do to figure out where that money is coming from and how much is needed for that credit. Here's your loan amount, 450. Here's the rate, 599. So in order to reduce this interest rate from 599 to 399 in year one, you can see the monthly payment savings is $550 a month. You times that by 12 months, that comes out to about $6,600 for the year. In year two, the 1% interest rate reduction is closer to $282 a month, which is about $3,400 for the year. So for your 2 years, the subsidy needed is only about 10 grand. You could do a $10,000 seller credit here. However, this is where the refinance scenario comes in. Right now rates are 599. Year one, you're getting 399. After 12 months, let's say month 13, if rates come down to 5.25, even 5.375, and you can get that 5.25 for free, and you can lock that in for 30 years, you'd actually have a remaining $3,400 of seller credit that's gone unused currently in your 2-to-1 escrow account. So when you go to refinance, this $3,400 actually gets refunded back to you, not in cash, but in the form of additional principal balance pay down. So your loan amount that's going to be paid off during your refinance actually would get this balance refunded back to it. When you go to refinance, a lender probably only charges you about $1,000 to do the loan for processing and underwriting. The other things that would go into a refinance would be your other closing costs, just like a purchase. You're looking at $6,000 to $7,000 probably in escrows for your closing costs. Now, this $3,400 would pay for roughly about half of your refinance. The other half can be wrapped into your loan amount on the refi and just get added to the loan balance, so you have no money out of pocket technically on your refinance. If you don't decide to refinance and you keep this 5.99 or 4.99% interest rate in year two, that's fine. You'll use up the rest of your $10,000 in seller credit subsidy. And then year three, you're locked at 599 for 30 years. However, we do see in the next 2 years, interest rates coming probably back down closer to the average interest rate of 5 to 5.5%. And that's the interest rate that has roughly been available to pretty much all buyers for roughly the last 20 years.
Awesome.
So what is the alternative to doing this type of program? So, Josh and I were just talking about how it's pretty easy right now to get anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 in seller credit while buying your house. Whether you allocate that towards paying for your closing costs or to a 2-to-1 interest rate buy down. An alternative you might see from another lender might be a permanent rate buy down. So let's say today's interest rates are 5.99, same scenario, same loan setup, same cash to close. Instead of throwing that $12,000 at getting your payment down by $550 in year one and $300 in year two, you could spend $12,000 on your interest rate here and buy it down to 5.25 or 5.375. So you can see the difference in monthly payment from 599 to 5375 is $178 a month. If we divide that by the change in what it costs to get that permanent rate buy down, the break even is about 5 years. So if you go out there and you listen to somebody, maybe like a new construction builder or somebody who's offering a large credit, and you use that to decrease your interest rate to the low fives, I can't guarantee it, but there is a possibility that you can get this 5.375 to 5.5% interest rate probably for free in the next 2 to 3 years. If you went to refinance in the next 2 years and you spent $12,000 on getting this rate, your break even would be 5 years. When you go to refinance, you don't get that money refunded back to you. You already spent it. So the biggest benefit with this 2-to-1 interest rate buy down is any remaining seller credit that goes unused for your subsidy is not spent cost. You're actually recouping that money on a break even that makes sense whenever the rate gets low enough for you to refinance permanently. And it's also having a larger effect on your monthly payment here because you're getting the biggest benefit out of the first 2 years by decreasing that payment as much as possible. And if that refinance is available in year 2 instead of year 3, take it because you're not leaving any money on the table. So how long will this strategy keep working? I don't see lenders getting rid of this strategy. This has always been a strategy that was available. The only reason it's so popular right now is the current market environment. As we continue to see price reductions, which probably we're on the last leg of this, we're in winter right now. As we're recording this video, it's December 16th. We're heading towards Christmas. If anybody has their house listed right now and it's not selling, they may have a couple price reductions headed into early spring, but as rates continue to be dropped slightly in the market, we should see more buyer competition and buyer demand return in early spring. What does that mean for prices? Prices probably stop going down. They probably start getting gobbled up a little bit quicker in the market. And that means that there's going to be less seller credit to go around. This strategy is 100% reliant on your ability to get seller credit. If you get less seller credit, you can still probably do what we call a 1-0 interest rate buy down instead of a 2-1. You get that interest rate down 1% in the first year only. And that would only cost you the $3,400 in seller credit instead of the full, $10,000. So that 1% reduction is probably where the market is heading as we continue to get less and less seller credit towards a more buyer competitive market. So right now, in my opinion, is probably one of the best times in the next 2 years to buy a house. This is the best strategy to do it. If you're not ready, I would say this spring is another great period of time. You just might have a little bit more competition and a little less flexibility on your ability to get seller credit and lower payments.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I just pulled market stats, and we still have less than 2.1 months worth of residential inventory in Bend. That means if no one else listed a house from today forward, we would run out of things to sell in 2.1 months. So that means it's still a seller's market. There's still an incredible amount of demand for the houses. And the moment the interest rates drop, if we get a 1% interest rate drop, then it is crazy game on again, and everyone wants to move here. So now is a great time to get a deal. Now is still a great time to sell your house because you still have limited amount of inventory. If your house isn't selling, it's because it was priced improperly. That's just a plain out fact. And we would love to help and explore the options of maybe different ways to market your house rather than the traditional put a sign in your yard, put a lockbox, and hope for the best. So, hey, Garett, I super, super appreciate you bringing on this information. It's absolutely valuable to everyone out there looking to purchase a house. How's someone get a hold of you if they want to chat? What's your phone number? What's a good email address? And what's your website?
Yeah. Give me a call. My phone number, my cell number, you can get a hold of me at any time, 503-698-7724. No pressure. We don't necessarily need a credit report or an application. If you just want to chat numbers and come up with the best plan for you possible, just give me a call, shoot me a text. My email is Garett, Garrett at Elevate. That's ELEV like Victor and the number 8 mortgage.com.
Outstanding. It was a super pleasure talking to you, my friend. Garett's a local mortgage broker here in Bend. He's absolutely wonderful to work with. And, if you guys are looking to buy or sell a house, and you want some advice, he is definitely one to reach out to. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. Hopefully you found this content and this information informative, and we would love to hear from you. Josh Grossman with eXp Realty, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks, Garett.